Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show, training our horses and miniature cows in ranch versatility. Penning Rusty and Susie, our bull and heifer. Roping Rusty with Morgan horse Semi. Training Eve to drive cart. Training Eve to work over her haunches with a motor cow simulator. Training Eve to lay down. Training Eve to harness, pull a log. Training Semi to harness, pull a log on turf. Jumping at Liberty to music, making our Morgan horses our partners. Training Eve on a cow roping simulator. Training on our driveway, which is covered by sand, so we have a straight track. Stepping over poles, jumping over crossbar jumps. Training in our trail obstacles area. Semi on the big steps. Morgan horse Sadie doing obstacles rainlessly. Sadie learns to pull a cart. Miniature zebu heifer Susie learns to drive a cart. Bull Rusty learns to pull a harrow. The first task is to make sure the Morgan horses know how to rate a simulated roping cow. Here's Tyler on the ATV roping machine, Rosie on Semi, and today we're trying to see if Semi, my most experienced Morgan horse in ranch horse versatility, will rate this slow-moving roping machine in spite of the fact that it clanks around quite a bit. Let's go. You're seeing it for the first time in a long time. She used to be able to do this. Will she do it again? You see, she's getting real nervous in her mouth. We expect that. We also have a bit of a problem because of the power of the small kids ATV. Let's see if it'll come all the way back up this east-west track, which is my driveway, covered with sand. This ATV doesn't go as fast as the electric bike. Yes, Semi's doing well. Very nice. Little bit of nervousness, but nothing that we won't be able to overcome with practice. Now we'll go to the north-south track. Oh, you want to do it one more time? We're going to try it one more time. Repetition here is the name of the game. Yes. Ah, whoa, now she's getting into a canter. That's through her excitement. Okay, here they come back. I'm sure that Rosie's asking Tyler to go a little slower because Semi got pretty excited going in the other direction, so we're just showing her, yeah, that it's not as spooky as she thought. Much better. Slow down, then do it faster when you've got their trust. There, nice, very nice. Okay, this time we're going to stop, disconnect the roping horns from the ATV, and roll it over to the electric bike going on the north-south track and seeing what Semi says about the roping machine, electric bike roping machine that has a longer distance to travel and can go faster than this ATV did on my east-west track. Okay, here we are on the north-south track. We're gonna make sure that we can drive it down the north-south track even though it is little bit thicker in sand. Uh-oh, a little trouble with the mechanics. Turn off the... Are we okay? All right, let's go for it. Let's see what Semi says about the electric bike roping machine. All right, let's see what she says. There she is, cantering again. Little bit stressed. Back down to a trot. And a few whoopies. All right, we've got some desensitization to do before we do the actual roping. And we'll be desensitizing with repetition. Can we do it one more time?
Yeah, well, let me canter back and forth without it first.
Okay, all right. First, we're going to try to canter back and forth without it. You know, the sprinklers just went on when she did that whoopee.
No, I don't think I did do it.
Rosie thinks it was just her excitement about following this clanky roping machine. I have actually roped my mini cows with Semi, but this is a different kind of predator that she's not sure about because it's been a long time since she's worked with it. Okay, here we are very quietly trotting, cantering down the north-south track, even with the sprinklers on there. She seems okay. Now she's going to canter right by this potential predator. All right, when Rosie feels ready, she'll ask Tyler to move on again. Maybe more slowly this time. You can go much faster with the electric bike, and that's pretty exciting. So we'll see what Rosie said. She's driving, riding around the manure bins and chicken pen.
You know, I think part of it has to do with the excitement of cantering on the track. Because, you know, for the most part, I feel like we've used just straight back and forth cantering on the track when we've really run her and practiced like rhyming stops.
Okay. Rosie's saying that she thinks the excitement is just the fact that she's cantering. How about just...
Well, I wouldn't say just. I would say
Not
part.
just, but it's all new. I mean, it's been a while. Let's just go quietly. How, Tyler, are you ready, Rosie? Okay. Quietly, as slowly as we safely can with the electric bike. You can pedal this electric bike, but if you want speed, especially on a hill, you just rev up the electricity. There, I can hear Rosie telling Tyler, above all the noise, what she wants, to give Semi this opportunity to small step her way into trusting this mechanical device. And when we get compliance without stress, well, we'll try actually roping the roping simulated cow. But first we have to get our Morgan horses, and in this situation, Semi, to rate it. Much better. Much better. You can see it in her body language. Yes. She's being light. Not having to pull back on her mouth. Going around the manure bins and the chicken pen. Here they come from the other direction after having gone around. Much better. Rosie will stop on a good note. I'm sure she knows that we're waiting for her to decide that that's enough of an interim success objective for today. We always like to stop on a good note, in addition to doing it in both directions. At that end, beyond that horse trailer, is another oak tree, another circle around the oak tree, similar to the circle that's around the manure bins and the chicken pen on this end. Gives us a real good opportunity to do curves and straight paths, to deal with distractions of all sorts, keep the focus of our horse, in this case our Morgan rope horse, yes, and ask her to listen to us in spite of her concerns. All right, Rosie has decided that this is a good stopping point, and she's going to come up to the camera and tell us what she felt. And Tyler knows how to put these mechanical devices away in our sheltered space, easily brought out again the next time we have an opportunity to do this. Yes, Rosie, what did you feel?
Well, especially towards the end there, she felt like she was getting there a little bit. I mean, that's one thing to say about Sem, is that she sometimes can get sort of stressed out about something, like she does sometimes about jumping or whatever. But she calms down again pretty quickly. So she went back to like trotting pretty nicely, and I could keep the reins pretty loose. And she seemed to be sort of getting it. Either that or like, I don't know if she had the idea so much as like maybe stop when this thing stops, but she had the idea to like follow behind this thing at least, and not to get ahead of it. So she was being pretty good towards the end there. I think she was getting excited before, because she just gets excited when you canter on the track. And also I think, oh, hey, where are you going? Back up. I think that combines with the excitement of running alongside a really loud thing. She didn't feel afraid at all. She just felt really, like, worked up. But you could probably see that she wasn't trying to get away from the thing. She wasn't spooking, but she was just, I don't know, expressing her excitement and maybe a little bit of confusion, but...
So she was actually somewhat rating it, but doesn't quite understand the whole process.
That's what it felt like. She's a pretty quick study about these things, and she's had experience with many a cow work, so she's had experience like following alongside moving objects, both mechanical cows and real cows. And so I was doing my best to really focus on the roping horns and the bike, really like focus my attention on it and concentrate on it. And I know she can feel my focus, well, in this and as well as other disciplines. So I think she was sort of starting to feel that and think about it a little bit, at least. I don't know if she totally gets it yet.
Okay, so we're gonna continue to do this with repetition, get her so at least she can trot or jog after the roping machine and give me a chance to throw the rope from the saddle. And that may take a long time, it may take a lot of repetition, but we're not in a rush here at Midmore Farms. Thank you, Rosie, and thank you, Semi, Shadrach, Triton, Semi. Here's a postscript. Rosie and I were talking about the fact that Semi's my most experienced ranch versatile horse. She's the best neck reiner and most responsive to leg aids. So when the roper is in the saddle, concentrating on throwing the rope properly will have probably the best response from all my Morgan horses at this time from Semi. And that's why we're concentrating on her at this time. We'll then move on to Sadie and to Eve Morgan. We can't remember when is the last time, if ever, she has been introduced to a lariat or running after our roping machines. This is the ATV roping machine with the roping horns attached. And what we're going to do is we're going to start out by just throwing the rope around her. Rosie's in the saddle and has just ran Sadie up and down the track, so at least we hope, past those concerns. We're going to throw the rope around her, then we're going to have her very quietly, if possible, and very slowly follow both the ATV roping machine on the east-west track and then to the north-south track and try the electric bike with the roping cords attached to it. Maybe a little bit faster, maybe for a jog. So I'm Sonia Sokolow, and here I come with the lariat. All right. Notice that her back leg is cocked. She's blinking her eyes. She's not showing any stress yet. This is my ranch rope. It's softer than most lariats, most of my other lariats, but it is longer. A lot of coils. Good girl, Sadie. Noticed I stayed out of strike zone when I went behind. I'm going to move the camera back a little bit. Do it one more time, show you her whole body, including her legs, which you probably didn't see, but you can see now that her back leg is cocked. And here we go again. I might even throw the lariat a few times at her. Notice her head. Here's the swishing. She's being good. And Tyler's about ready to move the roping machine for us, so we're going to let her follow it without the rope, though, today. Now, the rider will not carry the rope. I'm not seeing any stress to be concerned about, but of course combining that with following the roping machine, trying to rate it, getting her in position, putting the rider in position on a comfortable, soft horse, maybe yet a long ways away. Okay, Tyler, if you'll move it up and down the east-west track like you did before, and Rosie is going to be just trying to teach Sadie with, hopefully, neck reining and leg aids, because you see she has the roping reins on, and she has them right now only in her left hand, and we're hoping that Sadie will stay soft, light. She's looking good. Very nice. Here we go. A little faster, you see some stress. Let me try to zoom in for you. As it clanks, as it goes faster, some stress in her mouth. We need to keep that vertical flexion and quietness in her mouth. She just has a smooth Snapple bit on. Much better. This run is much better. Okay, we're going to move to the north-south track and see how she does there. Okay, here we are on the north-south track. Can you put your helmet on, Tyler? Not only does the rider wear a helmet when we do this, but also the bicyclist. It can get a little bit spooky if you're going down this track at full speed ahead, especially in the deeper part of the sand. A little bit of serpentine, maybe a possible fall. Always wear your helmet. Okay, let's go. Let's see how Sadie does. So far, she did really good on the east-west track with the slower ATV roping machine. We call it a roping machine or a roping cow simulator, homemade. Again, today we're just rating, making the horse understand they're to follow that machine and slow and fast and stop when it goes slow and fast and stops. And here we come around the horse trailer and the oak tree. And Rosie, in a loud voice, because it is clanky, has to tell Tyler whether to slow down or speed up or stop. See, Sadie is being munchy with her mouth. That's her stress. We want her not to be stressed, and we know we can get there, especially with Sadie. All we have to do is give her repetition. Here we come, going the other direction. Notice that Rosie is two-handed now. She's feeling the necessity. Yes, for control, use two-handed reining. Eventually one-handed, lightness, softness. And I have a feeling that next week, rather than even moving on to the next step of actually roping from horseback, following these cow simulators, roping cow simulators, we'll just do more of this every day with each Morgan horse. Here we come now. Again, let's watch Sadie's mouth. Has she gotten soft and light, stress-free? She's mouthing a little bit, not as much though. Good girl, Rosie's giving her praise. Good girl. You see, she's at a trot. Much better. Now it'll be Rosie's call because she can feel the stress in the saddle much more than we can see the stress here from the ground. That as soon as Sadie feels a little bit less stressful and is giving us the right answers and is understanding a little bit better that she's supposed to be rating or moving with the speed of this roping cow simulator, well then we'll stop the lesson today and we'll stop on a good note. All right, I hear Rosie telling Tyler to stop when he gets over here. That means it's Rosie's feeling that Sadie has improved. And we're gonna ask Rosie, how did it feel, Rosie?
That was pretty good. She didn't get quite so riled up as Semi did when it got loud. I mean, she wasn't totally soft and light. I mean, I'm sure you could see that. But she stayed fairly responsive. And then especially towards the end there, and especially like on the straightaways, she actually like seemed to settle down a little more. She got softer. I could, you know, sort of loosen up with the reins and concentrate more on the position we were in.
Did you ever try neck reining one-handed?
No, I did.
Did you?
Yeah, for quite a bit. She's getting a lot better at the neck reining. This is relatively simple stuff, and I used, you know, my legs at the same time. But she seemed to be doing it pretty well. I mean, not totally refined movement, so I didn't try to, like I was saying, I didn't ever work very much on our precise position, more like a general position here in relationship to the rope.
If you had let loose of the reins altogether, keeping your hand on it but no pressure, would she have rated it herself at all? Does she understand that yet?
I don't think so. I mean, I think she got the idea that we were doing something with this thing. I mean, like there was a reason, or like it's next to us and we're staying next to it. But I don't know that she would have kept herself in the same position. No, probably not. But you know, maybe so. I guess it'd be something to try. But at this point, I didn't even give her that option.
And once we actually get her to rating it, when you don't have, or the rider doesn't have a rope in their hand, then there's the next step of doing the same thing, but the rider's going to have the rope in the hand, and the horse will most definitely feel the body position of the rider as the rider starts to twirl the rope and throw it and lean forward or whatever. So all of that has to be taken into consideration when you're practicing roping and training a rope horse. Get that horse in position, get that horse light and stress-free, and the rider, of course, has to be able to catch the moving target, which is our roping horns that we made here at home from an old lawn sweeper and connected at this time to an electric bike with our trusty bicyclist Tyler. Thank you, you guys. We'll do it again next time with Firecrest Easter Eve. That's Sadie's mom. Well, here's a postscript. Sadie has a nice, smooth, even jog. And Rosie was just telling me as we closed the camera that that jog is going to be helpful in helping Sadie to learn to rate without rein pressure. Can you explain it, Rosie?
Well, she just is, she's pretty steady in her movements, and she's got sort of a natural inclination to do the minimum, I guess. So like once I tell her to jog and she starts jogging and she sort of gets the idea, then she's going to keep herself at that nice pace, more so than say Semi or Eve would, which is, you know, they're good for different things. They're different disciplines. You want different sorts of movement, but this is perfect because her jog is it gets pretty steady when she's, you know, nice and warmed up, and it's smooth, it's easy to ride. So I think that'll be really helpful for when the rider is, you know, otherwise occupied with the roping.
Okay, good point. Now this morning on RFD TV I watched a special about a dressage rider who said he bought his very own horse thinking that horse was going to be a perfect dressage horse, and while it was a great horse, he said it never really proved itself as a world event dressage horse. And he said it's very much genetic, and it's hard to tell just by evaluating a horse or watching a horse what the genes are gonna provide for you in the future. Now Sadie's father is a very easygoing Morgan Stallion, and I think that that gentleness and that I don't want to work attitude is genetic, which is good. It may be, once we get her going and then ask her to keep doing it, it may be what we need to keep her steady and useful as a rope horse.
And that's what makes her such a great trail horse also, that steadiness, that sort of unflappableness for the most part. It's great. It's the same sort of things we want when we're out on the trail.
Genes expressed in behavior. All right, thank you, Rosie.
In the next parts of this show, we will rate with Eve and then practice roping with all 3 Morgans. Our cast of characters: Sadie and Eve, Sammy, Demi, and Lotus, Rusty, and Susie. www.thesocolos.com